Hey everyone, it's Kevin, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the movie Unforgettable. Yes, unlike my previous two reviews, both of which were on animated PG movies, this one is going to be on an R-rated erotic psych thriller. So that being said, this review is going to be a little less family-friendly than my previous two, so viewer discretion is advised. Unforgettable, that's what you are. And no, they do not use that song in the movie at all. Although, it kind of would be inappropriate considering the song's meaning and the movie's meaning of the word unforgettable are very different. But there is a Sia song in the movie, and Sia did a cover of it in Finding Dory, so, Anyway, so the movie's about a woman played by Rosario Dawson who recently got out of an abusive relationship and has now started a new life with a new man whom she has moved in with and is engaged to. However, his ex-wife, played by Katherine Heigl, doesn't exactly take it too well. In fact, when she finds out that Dawson is engaged to her ex-husband, she kinda goes a bit crazy and does whatever she can to ruin Dawson's life and their potential marriage. Overall, the movie was very, meh. Like, it's not quite, the parts that are thrilling are, kind of thrilling, but they're not like, oh my god, I can't believe she did that kind of thing. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be, like, on the edge of your seat. You're more, like, gonna be, like, But then the other parts are just kind of like, There's also certain plot threads that, just don't really make sense. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about, Katherine Heigl's performance. I mean, when she does the crazy parts, she's pretty good, but when she's supposed to be, like, sane, quote-unquote, like, she's, like, not supposed to be crazy yet, she, like, still kinda is crazy, in a way. Like, she's very... how do I say this? The way she talks, like, it's kind of pretty obvious that she's crazy. Like, it would be better if it, like, if you kind of didn't really see it. If, it's kind of reasonable. Oh, yeah, so I can see why this guy would marry this woman, because, she's not obviously crazy. But, like, everything she says to Dawson's character is so pointed.
Your tone seems very pointed right now.
And speaking of Rosario Dawson, her performance was overall pretty good, but she has there's this one scene where she screams, because, okay, minor spoiler alert, she thinks that she sees her abusive ex in the window, and she screams. Of course, it's not actually her abusive ex, it turns out it's actually just her fiance, coming home late from work. So she lets out this scream, and it's so unintentionally funny. I don't know, like, the way that she is screaming, it was just so funny to me. Like, she's just like, ah! I don't know why. I don't know, maybe it's because it was, like, somewhat masculine. I don't really know how to describe it. I can't even remember what it was really like. But I remember laughing at it. I remember finding it funny. Let's address the elephant in the room. This movie is about, this movie does have themes of domestic violence in it and domestic abuse. So if you are kind of sensitive about that kind of stuff, this might not be the best movie for you. They do actually play pretty heavily on that. Like, it gets kind of intense in the movie, like, about, like, Dawson, she kind of has these, like, panic attacks whenever she thinks about her ex, which, whenever she, like, or, like, something, like, triggers her to, like, make her think about her ex, like, she has, like, these panic attacks, and I think the way that they shot that was pretty well, like, so everything kind of, like, slows down and, like, blurs up, and, she kind of can't really hear anything, and it's just, like, all she can hear is her own heartbeat, and, I just thought that was, I thought that was a nice way to, like, try to illustrate a panic attack. Of course, I can't exactly say what that's like because, I've never been in a abusive relationship and I don't have PTSD, so I don't know what it's really like, but It looked like, that's pretty much what it's like. I mean, if it's not, then, then who am I to say? Oh, and it's not just domestic abuse. I mean, it's not just, relationship abuse. There's also child abuse in this movie. Although it's not quite as explicit as the relationship abuse, it's definitely heavily implied, and, it is there, but it's not, like, you don't see, like, a kid getting hit or anything, or, like, verbally screamed at. But it's definitely there, and I gotta give props to the kid actor. She genuinely seemed afraid of Heigl whenever, she got mad at her. So, props to that, Although she kind of makes a lot of scenes very uncomfortable. Like, there's this one dinner scene that with Heigl, Dawson, and the kid, and it's so uncomfortable. It is a very uncomfortable scene. One positive thing I do have to say about the movie is that it's pretty step-parent positive, because considering that the birth mother, Heigl, she's pretty abusive, but she's abusive towards the daughter, but Dawson, she tries to, be a little more compassionate, and, she's not that good at being a mother, but, she's trying, like, that's, like, there's this scene where Heigl wants the daughter to go horseback riding, but the daughter, she's scared and doesn't want to do it. And, like, Heigl's like, you will ride that horse. But Dawson's like, come on, you know what? You don't have to if you're scared. Like, come on, let's just go. So, yeah, positive movie for step-parents that you don't really see a lot. So, yeah, if you might be easily triggered by, seeing, like, a woman get abused by a boyfriend, or seeing a woman, go through a panic attack from having to remember an abusive relationship, this might not be the best movie for you. You might want to skip out on this. You know who else is probably not going to like this movie? Meninists are probably not going to like this movie, because every single male character in this movie is either dumb, useless, or evil. So, yeah, probably not going to like that. Okay, so now I'm going to enter minor spoiler territory, so if you don't want any spoilers in the movie, skip to this part of the video. The way that Katherine Heigl actually gets at Rosario Dawson, she steals her phone, and she finds out all this information about her, like that she filed a restraining order against her abusive ex-boyfriend, and the restraining order recently expired, and Heigl finds out about this, so she literally creates a fake Facebook account for Dawson's character, and she catfishes the abusive ex-boyfriend. So yeah, pretty much this movie is about catfishing, actually. Kind of makes you wonder, did Facebook pay for this? Like, did Facebook, like, pay for product placement? Because this is kind of a bit of an odd product placement. I mean, I guess anything that gets your name out there is, any publicity is good publicity, but, Facebook, is this really what you want to associate yourselves with? I mean, it's kind of like in Jaws 3D when, the whole movie was set in SeaWorld, but people died and stuff. It's like, okay, SeaWorld, that's the image you want to go for? Although, let's face it, they're not really doing so well right now anyway, so... Okay, this is kind of a major spoiler. One of the things I found funny... speaking of the dumb men in this movie, when the fiance, when he finds out, like, Dawson's fiance and Heigl's ex-husband, that guy, he finally finds out that that Dawson was right about Heigl, because, she's obviously gonna say, like, she's crazy, she's trying to ruin our life, she's trying to ruin our marriage, like, but obviously nobody believes her, because she doesn't have any proof. But when the husband finally finds out that she's right about Heigl the whole time, because Heigl steals Dawson's wedding ring, and she steals Dawson's wedding ring, and actually, for some reason, is wearing it when the husband, like, confronts her about everything that, Dawson has been accusing her from. Because this is during, like, the climax of the movie, so this is, like, a very high point. So he sees the wedding ring on her, and he's just like, Oh, shit. It's just so funny, his reaction. It's just like, he's like, huh, wow. Okay. Although, to be fair, Heigl's character is pretty obviously crazy, so this guy, he's not exactly very bright. Okay, so overall, this movie is just, it's not really that thrilling. It's kind of thrilling, if you want to see a good cat fight, I'd say go for it, but if you actually want to see, like, an actually, like, good movie, you know, probably not. Although I do think it's kind of worth seeing just for that scream that Dawson does, because it's so funny. So, yeah, I guess, whatever. If you want to see that, that's fine. But, maybe this is a good movie to skip out on if, you don't really want to waste your time with that. If you want, like, an actually, like, good story with compelling characters, this is not a movie for you. In my rating system of bad, okay, good, and great, I give Unforgettable an okay. Alright, well, that concludes my review, and see you guys next time. Bye.